background at that what is cyber crisis management plan or techniques. Actually, it is a comprehensive framework which tell us that what to do in case of any eventuality. And we all know that we should be aware that the cyber crisis is such thing which can which is bound to happen any day, and we can assume that it is not going to happen, but anyhow it may happen. So we must be ready to mitigate the effects of what a cyber crisis could do to us. So what is the outline for this session? We will firstly discuss the what is the purpose of cyber crisis. Then it is mandated by the government have a cyber crisis management plan. Then we will see the structure and point of actions, and then cyber security exercises. I will talk about later that. So we can see that good cybersecurity posture required different perspective from our side. It can be a strategic, legal, protection, crisis response and resolution, compliance, education and awareness, enforcement perspective, collaborative, data security. So from different perspective, we have to see that how a cyber crisis problem can be addressed. And this CCMP plan mainly means this is concerned about the government level and the critical sector level, because we know that government level and critical sector level are very big organization. So that is in case of that we should have a proper plan and framework in place so that in case of any eventuality we are able to address it. So what is the purpose? The purpose is that it is a framework or guide which prepare us to respond and begin to coordinate recovery from a cyber incident. So if means this is a comprehensive plan, as already told that this should be prepared, that we should are always ready for any eventuality. We are able to respond it quickly, and we are able to begin our recovery at the very earliest. And it ensures that our interruptions and the interruption due to these attacks are very brief, infrequent, and manageable. And also we have plan this plan pinpoint the responsibilities and accountability right down to the individual level. This is very important, because if a certain eventuality happens and there are no any action or any plan, then what will happen? Then there will be chaos, and every will be asking for looking at what to do. But if you have proper plan in place, then they can respond to it, and so the downtime is very minimum and we can restart our services. And what is the mandate? The mandate is quite clear that government wants every government organization to prepare its own sectoral cyber crisis management plan on the line of cyber crisis management plan of the certain provided by the certain. And the certain conducts mock exercises with ministerial organization. We will talk it about later. Actually, exercises are such things which test your whatever document you have prepared. We provide certain situations and we ask your response to that whatever document you have prepared, and then we match we test it, and we tell it if there is certain problem or certain improvement is required. And finally that it is also the compliance part, that every organization should have their own sectoral CCMPs. And what is the structure? What should it contain in a CCMP plan? The CCMP plan should at least should contain the concept of cyber crisis management plan, nature of the cyber crisis and contingencies. Nature of the cyber crisis means that what kind of eventuality can happen to you. Cyber crisis, in terms of cyber crisis, like it could be a email phishing, it could be a ransomware, it could be a botnet. Different type of eventuality can be there. So how to respond to each and individual cases, individual level, we must be aware of that. Then the cybersecurity threat landscape is that whatever is going in our country, we should be aware of that. Building cyber security capabilities, and once we are knowing everything, though, we must be able to know how we can defend ourselves. Then the incident prevention measures, we should have proper incident prevention measure in place, like different tools, firewalls, intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention system. And then we have crisis recognition, mitigation and management. This is the most important part, because if somehow certain crisis appears, then we able to know what is it, how we can mitigate it, and how we can communicate with the management and the different parties involved. And finally, what the lesson learned post incidental activities, that whatever lesson you have learned from all these activities, you are able to, based on that, you are able to update your the framework. And the certain important points in those plan is that first is that implementing of information security management system, ISMSS. It is like that based on the ISO 2002-7000, we will study later guidelines. You have to prepare your framework, and planning and preparation of incident handling. Then how will you respond the activities in first hour and first 24 hours, important security controls, data center guidelines, network infrastructure. So all these things should be there in your crisis management plan. So now we come to the concept of cyber crisis management plan. So already we have discussed this, that this is a guided framework which will prepare us, respond to, and begin to coordinate recovery from a cyber incident. So this is not only about the how you behave in case a certain crisis happens. It is actually a very comprehensive, in the sense that you should be aware of that what kind of cyber crisis could happen to your organization. You should properly means have a planning and training to your employees, so that they are aware of all those things, and what are the possible targets and related impact, and how will we behave in that. So it is a based of all these protective and all those detective methods, response methods. And finally, that we know that the cybersecurity field is very technology incentive, so we have to update yourself. It is not like that once you have prepared your plan and you keep aside and you keep referring to that again and again. No, it is like that once certain things happen in your organization, you prepare a plan, you test it, sometimes you test it and update it based on your past learnings. So what could be the nature of cyber crisis? We have seen that it could be of different form. Like currently we have seen that the email phishing attacks, they are very much problematic nowadays, because the viruses or trojans, they are means carried onto the devices through these methods. So due to lack of proper training, the employees may unknowingly open the attachments or to a different link where they can download that malware and install in their PC, so that a successful attack has taken place. So there could be different methods. So we can see that there could be denial of service, there could be application level attack, there could be financial frauds, there could be threat due to emerging technologies like IoT, big data. So the emerging technology like IoT and big data, they are also very vulnerable to cybersecurity attacks, because these technologies, once they are came in the market, then they rarely receive any update on the security front. So we have to keep in mind also that small devices which are placed here and there, IoT devices, they are properly updated in the terms of security. If certain vulnerabilities is found out, then we have to plug it. And attack on the ICS and SCADA system. So ICS in the industrial control system, and SCADA is the technology that drives it. So ICS technology also vulnerable. Earlier we thought that those machines, big machines, are running on certain technology, but nowadays what had happened, that the difference between the IT and the operation technology, information technology and OT technology, has been bridged. So nowadays the IT technology is heavily being used in the ICS systems. So they have become too vulnerable, so that anyone can access it to it, and then you can change the internal configuration without knowledge of anybody. So on the slide you can see that we have different critical infrastructures, and mostly you can see it is the all containing all important things like defense, energy, finance, health, space, information technology. And in the current COVID-19 situation, you are well aware that our healthcare sector, that is greatly affected by this, and they are very prone to cyber attacks. And now the different threats we have talked earlier, like the current trend is that in the current scenario, we are, because due to COVID-19 and also due to digitalization process, we have seen that the way the technology works, it has both positive and negative impact. So we are going in the positive directions, but the hackers and the nation states, they are going in the negative direction, and then try to attack our companies, organizations. So we have to be well aware of that. So what could we have seen that what could be the attack targets? Attack targets could be the critical infrastructures, business intelligence, personal identifying informations. These are the major targets, are the government sector's critical infrastructures. And who could be the attack actors? The persons attacking, they could be the cyber criminals, nation state actors, hacker groups, malicious insiders. This malicious insiders is very important, because we know that most of the time the major hacking has taken place because of some insider informations. So we need to make our system such proof that whoever has access to the information is having the access to just information that is required, not all the information. We have to make our system that ready. And what could be the attack motives? It is well known. It could be financial, it could be destruction of services, or it could be from other countries, cyber espionage. And then what could be the attack vectors? The attack vectors, we know that how they could attack. They could attack through social engineering. They could attack because lack of user awareness. It can be ignorant users. There could be vulnerabilities and exploits. So what are the system vulnerabilities? Let me talk about that. The vulnerabilities are the weakness is the systems or network or devices which can be exploited for the benefit of the hacker. And what are the threats? Threats are something which it can be insider or outside threats which can exploit and vulnerability. So threat always exploit a vulnerability. So what our task is that we should know about vulnerabilities, what are the vulnerabilities are there, so that we could minimize it, and we are able to save our systems. So how could we save our systems? So first, the very basic controls are there. So suppose that any organization has started to make its CCMP plan. So at least these 5 things should be there in those CCMP plan. The first is the inventory of devices and softwares, because this is very much important, because we can't protect that we don't know what we have. So you should have a list of every devices, even the laptops, pen drives, hard drives, whatever the company or your employees are using, so that even a loss of a simple pen drive could cause a data breach. And you should know what software are running, because you are knowing that what software running, then you can easily check your systems. But suppose that a certain malware has infected your system and it is running a certain software, so you are able to know that. And you should those softwares which are required, only you should use that. In case of remote desktop, nowadays in corona time, we are seeing that people are working from home, they are using VPN, or they are using remote desktop connections. Initially, when the VPN was not readily available, then most of the persons were using the remote desktop connections. So in those cases, what used to happen, that remote desktop connections are very vulnerable, and they can be exploited by third parties to gain the access. So if not required, then you should disable those softwares. You know, like that once you installed it and then you forget about it. No, you have to keep updated that what is your requirement, and those only softwares are running on your systems. So you need to keep checking and have a proper awareness among the employees, so that they are able to check those things. And then we have used the control use of administrative privilege. So this is very important, because not everybody should have their administrative privilege, because we have seen the insiders threat problem is there. So those persons who are only required to have the administrative privileges should have the administrative privilege of the software, operating system, devices, and the network. And otherwise, just on need to know basis and how much information they require, then only they should be given the permission. Then we have secure configuration of hardware and software. And this is also very important, because you can have the best software available in the market, but if they are not configured properly, then they are useless. So the proper configurations and is very much important, and the timely updation of those software. And if patching means that suppose that a certain vulnerabilities is found in the operating systems, then those companies will provide the patching. And you should be well aware that as soon as the patches are available, you are able to update it. So you have to check with your vendors and every vendors that it is updated periodically. And then finally we have the malware defense. So you should have anti-malware, antivirus capabilities in your system or network, so that you are able to defend it. And you have to update it also, because every day or they are updating their signature, antivirus signature. So you should keep updating, so that if any malware is hidden in your system, they can be found out. And what is finally, we have vulnerability and patch management. So based on the cybersecurity alerts, we always provide if you go out to see our website, then we have advisory, we keep on providing on a timely basis. So based on those advisories and alerts, you should be able to know what the vulnerability in the systems, and you should be able to patch them, either by knowledge of what are the instructions have been provided in those advisories or talking to your vendors. So finally, now we come to the cyber resilience part. It is also an important part of CCMP plan, because CCMP plan, cyber crisis can happen anytime. So to mitigate those effects, we should be cyber resilient so that we are not able to get hit by those attacks. So we should able to have the capability to anticipate that a virus attack can happen, then withstand, recover, and evolve. So anticipate means that you have to keep means your IT team or your the CISO, Chief Information Security Officer, they should be always aware that what is happening in the country. Suppose that nowadays example we see that in the corona times the health sector is primarily targeting. So if you are belonging to the health sector, then you should be able to know that you are the now the prime target. So you should anticipate that thing. And once you are anticipating that, you should have proper devices and software hardware in place so that you can withstand any attack. You should have proper training awareness so that no phishing attack or social engineering attack take place. So in that case you will be safe for some time. And suppose that something happens, then you have proper guidelines in place and SOPs in place, so there is no any chaos anything. And whatever the attack is happening, so you know that what are the responses should be there, and you just follow those instructions and recover quickly. And then finally you learn that whatever the shortcomings in your response was there, so that in future no such thing is repeated again. So we can see that in the slide, you can see that there can be mainly three different phases of a successful cyber attack. Like first the attackers try to penetrate your systems, and after penetration it does some work, and your antivirus or something anti-defending capabilities is able to detect it, and after detection then the recovery is initiated. So you can see that there is always a time lag, and there will be always a time lag. So whatever we can do, that we have to minimize those time lags. And how we can do that? There can be different controls for that cyber resilience. The first could be protective control. In the protective control, what we can do, that we can see that protective control, a proper protective control is placed there, then we can easily delay the means the penetration of the hacker. So hacker penetration will be delayed so that we get enough time to respond. Then we have detective controls. So what could be done? We should decrease the detective time. So once penetrated, our defense system should be such that they are quickly identified so that the necessary measures could be taken. Then we have containment control. Containment control is that once the problem has been found out there, so that our response should be much quicker. If all response are in place, then it will be much quicker, and so that the response is means we are able to mitigate the problem in a very quickly. And finally the recovery controls. If it is a very quick, then we can minimize the effect. And finally we can see that if we have all four of these, detective, protective, containment, and recovery plan in place, we can very much mitigate the effect of a cyber attack. So now we comes to the incident prevention. So this is also an important task in the CCMP, because certain time successful cyber attack can take place. So incident response becomes very important. So for those things we should have proper SOPs in place and proper accountability in place, so that whenever any security incidents happens, then we are able to recover quickly. So what could be the main points of those things? Like first is the nomination of Chief Information Security Officer. This is very important because this person will be the nodal officer to take care of all those things, and he will communicate with the concerned organization like CERT-In or the legal or the law enforcement if required. And second point is preparation of those SOPs, information security policy implementation of best practices. Then continuity plan, BCP, so that the downtime is very low, and we are easily and very quickly we can continue our services. Then we have disaster recovery plan in place, security of information infrastructure, physical security, network traffic scanning, isolation of critical networks, implementation of security guidelines, And the next point is vendor risk management. This is also very important because nowadays we know that a lot of our work depends upon the vendors and the supply chain, different companies involved in that. So what will happen that we will make our system very foolproof, and all those devices are in place, and we are maintaining all the things which are required for a good cybersecurity posture. But the vendor involved with us, they are small companies, or they are not very cybersecurity alert. So vulnerabilities in those companies could be exploited to enter to our systems. So we need to take care of that also, because the vendors, whoever involved with you, they should have a proper knowledge of cybersecurity, and so that they could not become the uh, medium for entry to your systems. As we have seen the latest example, we have seen in the United States, a certain companies, a vendor company was exploited and to access to the main companies. And the background checks are also important for the employees, and what are the vendors and supply chain you are working with. Then we have audit and assurance audit, because whatever devices you are using, or whatever software you are using, they should be properly audited, because then only we can know that what are the vulnerabilities are there. And at certain, we have a list of impaneled different companies, so you can check it there. And if not, if the audit is not done, then you can get it audited by any one of them. Then the security training and awareness, we also at certain organize different training exercises and awareness exercises for the government organizations. So if you're interested, I will give you a mail ID. You can mail it to us for any training exercise. And then coordination and incident information sharing. So finally, you have to coordinate with the proper persons like certain and law enforcement agencies required. So there could be different level of cyber security assurance, like level 1, level 2, level 3, we mention it. So what are these things? Level 1, you can see that the organization is just aware of their IT security best practices, means they are aware, and they have started to plan to have a CCMP of their own. Then level 2 can be that it is just they know it and they have implemented the IT based security practices. And level 3 that they have implemented their own plans, and they have got their the devices network or the softwares, they have got their audited by a third party, DAPT vulnerable assessment and penetration testing that has been done. And finally, level 3 plus can we call that organization who has implemented their own CCMPs, their proper guidelines in place and everything. Now we come to cyber recognition, mitigation and management. So the level of concerns, we see that as a level, India on a complete scenario, we have seen that divided the whole country in 4 different level of threat level. Like level 4 is that level where whole country is under attack, cyber attack. So that will be called level 4, and so there could be a different type of response to that. And then level 3, it is multiple state and state wise. Then level 2, multiple organization in a state have been attacked, and level 1 is individual level. So we will see that we should have a different level of planning for all those kind of scenarios. So what could be the cyber crisis management and emergency response? So this certain action should be taken in case of any eventuality. So first is the containment of crisis. Containment means we should remove the affected device separately from the network. Then we communicate to the all concerned. Communication is very much required, because you have to tell to the proper channels should be maintained as per the guidelines. Coordination of efforts that can facilitate adequate and swift response in timely manner. So how this will come? This will come because if you have proper documentation, then these things will come. Suppose that certain documentation has been prepared, and the employees leaves the company, then certain second person joins it. So if the proper documentation is placed, then he can easily follow those guidelines and respond in a timely manner. Otherwise, it will become very difficult. The business continuity plan as per the guidelines should be there to ensure that there is minimum disruption of services. And finally, the detailed analysis of the crisis event should be done, and learning from the crisis should be done, that so that the next thing is not repeated in future. So we can see that cyber crisis management and emergency response. So response could be broadly divided into 2 parts, like action within the organization and action beyond an organization. So action within the organization is following the proper SOPs and whatever has been taken. And action beyond the organization means that how you communicate with the multiple stakeholders, like with a certain your CISO, different companies. Action within the organization. So what could be done in that? So putting in is again putting in place the system and procedure, follow the SOPs, then ensuring the complete alignment with the national crisis management plan. So whatever the actions have been taken should be in alignment uh, with the national crisis management plan, and whatever the plan you have been created should be verified through tests and mock exercises. This is because very important. Whatever you design, you means you make a framework, so it should be tested periodically, so that you should know that how effective that plan is. How we can work together for effective cyber crisis management. See what CERT-In does to provide the support in this cyber crisis emergency response. Firstly, we have a list of impaneled IT auditors. That is, you can find it on our website. So where you can get your system and network audited from those impaneled organizations. And we are always issuing timely security alerts and advisories. So you can again visit our website, and we are updating regularly, so we can see that there is a virus or trove or certain vulnerabilities is there. So vulnerability notes means different vulnerabilities which can be found in the operating systems or softwares that require patches that are also there. And then we have Cyber Swachhta Kendra. It is a special program of the Government of India initiative, which can be, it is a software where you can use it to clean the botnet are actually a small softwares that are generally implanted in your system by a hacker, and those softwares can be work on a means on a background, and they can do malicious activities on the instruction of a certain distant remote hacker. So this is also very problematic. So this makes a PC means attacker from a different perspective. So there is a software you can use it, and so that find out that your PC is infected or not. And finally, we have the Cyber Threat Intelligence Exchange platform. Developing and implementation of sectoral cyber crisis management plan in line with the National Cyber Crisis Management Plan. So we are always helping the government organization to build their own CCMPs, sectoral CCMPs. And finally, we are conducting the cyber security exercises to enable the participants to test their test their preparedness in case of any cyber attack. So organization can also help the certain is to secure the cyberspace of India. So they should daily report any security incident. You can go and report to us on our website. We can find the link and the mail IDs where you can have to mail it in which format. And you can collaborate with us to keep a watch on the cyberspace. And finally, you can participate in the training and workshop organized by us. I will give the mail ID to how to participate in that. So what are the different point of action for the sectoral CCMPs? Oh, this is the repeat of everything what we have discussed earlier, like sectoral CCMPs is either like a health sector, defense sector. So sector-wise CCMP is required. CCMP should contain a list of organization, what other organization are there in your sector, and then what are the means contact details of the CISOs of each organization, and they are preparing the sectoral CCMP on a line of CCMP of certain. So these things should be maintained. And organization level CCMPs. Organization level CCMP is that you prepare your document based on whatever we discussed now, and they are also periodically testing and evaluating their effectiveness of the security controls. Like they are conducting or getting audited by the impanelment organization. Their means penetration testing is there, vulnerability assessment is there, application security testing is there, web security testing is there. So if the every security audit is done properly, then they can be assured that they have achieved a certain level of cybersecurity posture. Nowadays means in cybersecurity nothing is 100% secure. So there maybe still maybe in future some new vulnerabilities will come and they can attack it. but we have to also with in par with them. So we have to means update and get our systems tested. And now we come to talking about the cybersecurity exercises that we have different type of exercises: layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, hybrid, cyber crisis tabletop exercises. So layer 1 exercises is just a basic level exercises, like just we talk with each other that what could be done in a certain scenario. So it's just a discussion based exercises. And layer 2 exercises is that uh, we provide on a means virtual system, we provide certain situations, and where they have to give a response to that situation. And layer 3 is that we provide certain real life injects on their emails, and we test their that preparedness, like so suppose that we provide the uh, a phishing mail on their mails, and we have to tell them to identify that in case of phishing mail what will their SOPs to tackle those things. So different, if there is ransomware, then how they will respond. So we get the responses, and we can then suggest them that your response is good or is required certain modification. Then we have tabletop exercises. Tabletop exercises are especially designed for the sectors, and they're especially designed to the what are the major threats are there, and then we discuss those threats and how the response could be done. And finally, the references are there. We know that for information security management system requirements, we follow the ISO 27001 2013 guidelines. So you can refer to that, and there are different things. So now we conclude the this is the mail ID. Please note down. For incident, it is incident at the rate cert-in.org.in, and for exercises, it is exercises at the rate cert-in.org.in. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was very informative session for us
So I
because we
think,
know. Yes, sir. Sir,
yes,
please,
yes, please
please.
continue.
Sir, it was really a very informative session for us because we know the cyber security. Few of us know the technical thing, but the management level information is very much required.
Yes,
And
yes.
suppose in case of a official or any citizen wanted to report some incident, and suppose a research student or fellow wanted to do some research work, so whatever the information you given in the last
Mhm.
slide, the contact details,
Yes,
it is very very
yes,
informative for
yes.
us, sir. Thank you
Mhm.
for sharing your experience and knowledge with us, sir.
Okay, thank you, thank
Now,
you. Any more questions?
yes, if anyone have any questions, kindly ask your question.
So it's okay if you're interested in
Yes.
exercises, then you can mail to us on exercises at the rate cert-in.org.in. So thank you, Mr. Vinodash.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay,
sir. Thank you.
okay.
Now we are at the end of our presentation, today's session. So before starting our last session, which one will be taken by Miss Rekha Saraswat, I think we want to take a 10 minutes little break. So by 4:40, we'll return again. By 4:40, we will return again, then we start our last session.
which I have produced today. I will endeavor to make them regular their 100 hours of
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that every step I take
Yes. So,
will help in
yes, sir. Back. We'll return back by 4:40, sir.
Okay.
It was 10-minute break, sir.